Hey everyone, Blind Pig again. I finally finished my Peter Case Sees a Broken and Troubled America and Tries to Heal It with Song print. And I thought I'd go over the steps that I used to create the whole thing, so I'll show you right from basically beginning to end. This is a scan that I vectorized in the computer. You can tell that it's sort of been vectorized by the weirdness of the line work, especially in here. That's where I especially notice it. You can also see it's got little round endings. Nothing's really very crisp. Anyways, I use this to basically lay out the whole thing. So this is the one color. I broke it down digitally into the second color. A friend of mine said that this is my weird twisted building cityscape sort of look, which is probably not untrue. And also, if you have a cityscape, you also have to have the leafy green flowing lines of the natural world. So there's always a dichotomy between those two things. I may be lying about that, but that's okay. Anyways, I have those three colors, and also I have, as you can see here, I'll just move these out from underneath, the line work that I use to create the Linoblocks themselves to transfer. You can see I'm getting a lot more accurate with the drawing in here. If you look at the other two, you can see that I've drawn it, traced it over top of the other one, and then what I do is flip it over, and if you can see in here, it's really shiny, so I use a folding bone to transfer it to the linoleum. I also have the linoleum pieces here that I used. You can see they're pretty, this is a piece of scrap linoleum that sort of looks like, I don't know, an aardvark or something. But you can see here, I get it fairly thin, and in some cases it actually, goes through the actual substrate. These are the colors that I used, the linoleum that I used for the yellow and the green, and underneath here is the block for the blue that I use. So these are the background ones. And you can see also here I've cut away a lot of this because it didn't really need to be there when I was printing, and sometimes the background picks up little flecks. Also, this is one of the pieces that I sort of cut away here, so you can see that it would sit in here like this, and I just cut it away so the background wouldn't print. I also have the first proof that I pulled of the piece. And you can see here I still have a lot of the background in here. So basically what I was doing is seeing how it was going to work, where there was different little flecks coming through. So this is basically the only proof that I did of the whole thing. So I just wanted to check to make sure everything was going to print okay. From there, I moved to the final piece and started printing on the paper. So now we have the actual proofs themselves, or the prints themselves. In this case, I usually, the first two or three that I do, I understand that they're going to be printer's proofs, so I'm not even really worried about them. So this is the very first one that I did for all the colors, and I keep them sequentially, so I'm always printing with each color. This is the first one, second one, so I sort of move through the stack and reorient them. I don't know if you can hear that. It's Canada Day, and you can hear the fireworks in the background from down the street. Also, if you look here, you can see I didn't really like the color in the background here, the green, so I've gradually, you can see here, this was the first one, the first color that I pulled. This was the second one, and then I finally got the green to a color that or a tonal value that I liked, and I stopped there. So you can see, we'll go back here, the progression of the proofs, and then things started to work out a little better here and you can see things are getting a little better. I'm still getting a little too much noise in the background, so I kept going. Again, the noise in the background is a little much. And there we're getting closer to what we wanted. We're getting a little bit of noise up here. And finally we're getting closer. We're getting some background printing there. And then we ended up going with these prints. So I ended up getting 13 of the ones on, this is Japanese masa paper. I also have some proofs on some Stonehenge printmaking paper, and you can see this is the first proof or first print that I did on this one, and it ends up being a printer's proof. I got a little bit of noise going on here, but basically at this point it's just adjusting the pressure. This is a lot thicker paper, heavier than the other Japanese paper that I was using. And you can sort of see as you go through here, there's little small variations in the print itself, the pressure, you know, where we're getting a little bit of noise coming through, or an acceptable amount of noise. But basically we ended up with 10 impressions on the Stonehenge paper. And that's more limited by the number of sheets that I have than the actual number that I wanted to print. So we ended up getting about 23 prints out of the whole thing. So the one problem I usually find is when I'm finished a project, I get a little disappointed. You know, it's like losing a friend sort of thing. And the cool thing is that I found is I always try and keep another or maybe 3 or 4 new projects on hand to sort of keep my mind occupied, because when this is finished, you'll see I numbered them. I still have to sign them, the blindpigpress signature, and then put the title across. But basically, at that point, it's done. And it's, again, it's sort of, it leaves you a little bit bereft. And by keeping a whole bunch of projects in the hopper, it sort of keeps that anticipation of the next thing and the next thing, rather than, oh, I'm finished this, what am I gonna do now? So I have a few other projects that I'm really looking forward to working on, so hopefully in the next couple days I'll get those coming along and get the ideas flowing and get working on them. So right now I'm sort of, you know, it's done. I'm gonna number them up and let them dry and everything, or well, they're pretty much dry, but make sure they're fully dry, and then you know, sort of sell them or give them away, or you know, maybe chop them up and recycle them. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so anyways, that's this project, and hopefully we'll move on to other things. Okay, take care, and we'll see you later.